All right, this is Physically Fit, Mentally Prepared. We're gonna go over retaining muscle and losing fat, since this is probably the broadest goal across most people. They want to retain as much muscle as possible and lose as much fat as possible. It is a difficult process and where you do need a little bit more discipline than normal, but it is simple. It's just doing it. And it's kind of hard in that sense because you got to do it a lot, like every day. Every day has to have some form of the steps that we're going to go over. So we're going to go over 4 steps. And right now we're going to start with step 1, and that is going to be slow resistance training. Slow as in slow in the tempo, in the movements. The resistance is going to be either weights or resistance bands. You could do body weight movements. So if you're stuck in quarantine, like most people, you can go ahead and do squats. You're gonna have to increase the repetitions because the weight, the resistance is lower. So you're gonna have to go even slower, almost like yoga. So I'll do another video on that, on slow resistance training without any weights or any bands or anything. And that whole, this whole step 1 process is part of retaining the muscle, okay? This is not so much the lose fat part, but this is the retention. This is training your body to keep as much muscle as possible. Your body is a highly adaptive machine and it adapts to whatever you put it through. So you want to put it through some damn training. You want to kill it, all right? You want to provide your muscles time under tension, TUT, all right? This is good for almost all aspects of just working out in general, but retaining muscle, you want to have time under tension. This is where you're gonna hold certain poses, such as a push-up or something like that. And what this will do is train your body to keep as much muscle as possible, all right? This will help it keep it dense. This will help it even grow and become stronger, all right? Now this is just step 1 of step 4, slow resistance training, all right? Now we're gonna move on to step 2. Okay, so now we are at step 2, and here, this is where you want to control your eating habits, and you want to eat in a caloric deficit, okay? So you're gonna eat less calories than you consume in a day. Now, if you are at or near your goal weight already, you don't want to eat that many less calories, you don't want to eat, I've always gotten that weird, like many less. So you don't want to drop it drastically, all right? 500 calories per day max if you are at or near your goal weight. If you are trying to lose weight overall and still trying to retain as much muscle as possible and lose as much fat as possible, you could go up to 750 and even 1,000 calories a day. I do not recommend that. You will be hungry all the time. You will punch babies, and we don't want to be punching babies. So in a caloric deficit, we also want to eat more protein, all right? Now the reason is that we're going to be conducting that slow resistance training, causing your muscles to have micro damage, right? So you want to repair the muscles as much as possible. So you want to up the protein in order to do that, all right? Calorie deficit or caloric deficit, you're gonna lose overall weight. You're gonna lose a little bit of muscle mass at the same time, but you're going to lose more fat in the process than you are going to lose muscle in the process. So a good way to measure this is to measure your body fat percentage, right? You want to measure this over your weight, because what will happen after some time is that you're going to build muscle and lose fat, and then it's going to kind of level out. And after it levels out, you're going to have your weight's going to stay the same. So it's really hard to gauge a unit of measurement for your progress. So body fat percentage becomes easier to measure overall because you're going to keep the same weight, but you're going to lose the percentage of body fat. You're going to eat in a caloric deficit, about 500 calories a day or less. I would even suggest, if you are at your goal weight, 200 calories a day. I know that seems like it's not a lot, but that is what they call a body recomposition. So you're gonna eat about 200, even 100 calories a day if you want, depending on your goals. And if you're already there at your goal weight, you don't want to eat too few calories because you want to have a lot of muscle repair. Your measurements are going to be body fat percentage. You're going to eat more protein, but you're going to eat in a caloric deficit. On step 4, I'll show you how to break that down in a macronutrient way. Hopefully, it's easy overall. All right. So now we're going to move on to step 3. Step 3. I combined rest and cardio here because I want to talk about both kind of at the same time. So rest is crucial at this point. You want to practice the art of doing nothing. It's an old Buddhist tradition. I'm really good at doing nothing. That's probably like my best ability, doing nothing at all. Just sitting there, barely even breathe. People even wonder if I'm alive sometimes. Rest is crucial here. Probably like the leanest I've ever been was a time where I would do a cardio sesh a week, which is why I brought this up. And I would do a 45-minute to 55-minute weight routine throughout the week, probably 4 to 5 times a week. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little boring. The weight training was boring. It's slow. But I felt really good. I was leaning out. My muscles were dense and I looked good. So if you look good, you feel good, right? So all of those combine to have a very positive effect overall. Rest is crucial here. The discipline is in step 2, the eating habits, and step 4 when we get there. That's where the real discipline comes in, because even though my workouts were simplified and my cardio was 1 to 2 times a week, I didn't really get to eat what I wanted, really ever. And I really disciplined myself there until I got to where I wanted. Then I started eating a little bit more of some bad stuff, right? But it was much more controlled. I was much more controlled over it. Cardio in this instance is going to be short burst cardio. And it's going to be 1 to 2 times a week in this whole process of you retaining muscle and losing fat. Now, I'm going to go into other types of training in other videos, and we're going to be talking about this stuff. So remember this. Short burst cardio would be like 50-yard sprints, about 10 times, 1 to 2 times a week. All right, that would be the entire cardio. Then all the other cardio sessions that you do, like on a weight training day, would just be walking with a slight incline and not very fast and not for very long. The reason is because you don't want to burn too many calories while you're doing cardio. So if you do a 2-hour cardio session running, you're gonna burn a lot of calories. You don't wanna do that because you want to use all your calories for your muscle recovery, right? Muscle tendon ligament recovery, right? And if you end up burning too many calories, well, your body's gonna pull from fat, but at the same time, it's still pulling from muscle. So you're kind of stealing from your muscle recovery there. Now, I know that gets a little bit convoluted. So where does it occur? The reason why this process seems to be most used by people that I'm experienced with is because it's easy to kind of track everything. If you go on long ass runs, the CrossFit bouts, then you end up burning a bunch of calories and you're not hardening your muscles at times. The ones that are elite, they've been doing it a long time, and I assure you that they are embedding weight training sessions along with their long bouts of CrossFit. Now, right here, we just want to do rest, practice doing nothing. Pretty easy, right? You want to do cardio about 1 to 2 times a week, depending on how you feel. If you want to get another session in, do it. And they're going to be short burst cardios, such as sprints or interval training at some type of HIIT, but keep it around 20 minutes, 2 times a week, and that's it. And all the other days, you're just doing some brisk walking to warm up and cool down. Otherwise, you're going to really focus on your slow movements of resistance training. All right. So I hope I didn't lose you there. I know it's not that complicated, but it could get a little bit convoluted. I get it. But we're going to move on to step 4. All right. So we are at step 4 now, and we're going to go over the calories and the macros. All right. Calories is just the overall measurement of energy. And then the macros breaks it down into the 3 categories of fats, protein, and carbohydrate. You can see here that we have it at a 2,000 calorie per day. This is just an example of a nice rounded number. So we're going to be going with 20% fats, 40% protein, 40% carb. This is a method that I've seen used, I've used myself. So we're about 4 out of 4 people that I know, including myself, that this actually works, and you don't feel that bad because you have enough carbs in your system. There are other ways you could approach this. This isn't locked in stone. I know people that do 50 to even 60% protein. I think that might be overkill. You probably don't have to do that. This is broken down in the percentages of the calories. So you have 200 calories of fats. You're gonna have 900 calories of protein, 900 calories of carbs. One thing that I like about this is that you get to throw in some candy and stuff in there every once in a while, a cookie or something, just so you're not so constrained. This is in grams, so for 200 calories of fats, understand that fats are 9 calories per gram, so you get 22.5 grams there. That seems right. We're gonna go with that. Then you have 225 grams for protein and carbs. Now, this leaves room for any type of dessert, okay? You can eat any type of dessert with this stuff. You're weighing it. You are weighing it. You need to know how much is going in your body, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to lose fat in this whole process. You will retain muscle. You will even build muscle. If you keep going over the caloric intake, then you're not gonna lose fat. You're actually gonna gain some fat. At the same time, you're gonna gain some muscle. So overall, you're gaining. And that's not exactly the purpose of this in particular, all right? That'll be another video of how to gain weight properly so you're not, so you could scale it correctly. This isn't locked in stone either, all right? If you end up going a little bit over, account for it. And the next day, pull back a little bit. That's the flexible dieting method that I like to use, because I kind of use that per day number and then I multiply it by 7, so that way I got the whole week, and I know if I'm going to be going out with friends or something like that, I account for every calorie. If I think that I'm going to be eating much more one day than another, I account for it beforehand and I'll pull back maybe the day before or something like that. It's worked for me in the past. I still do it now, and it's helpful. And I don't want people to be locked in. I gotta eat this at this time. I gotta eat this at this time, because it's very tiring if you do it that way. You have a life and you're gonna be out and about and stuff, and it's just not gonna be that simple. So if you are going to overeat one day, it's totally fine. I would say just make it your best options. If there's nothing but fast food around, all good. There are options at fast food places now. I actually dig Wendy's chicken salads. They're actually really good. Same thing with Chick-fil-A. Yeah, Chick-fil-A salad is actually really good. So you have options, and don't be discouraged that you can't eat any sweets, because you can. I even carry some Skittles with me around every day, or Mike and Ike's, and then I'll just kind of eat a few here and there throughout the day. I end up not eating an entire package, but sometimes I do. Maybe 4 or 5, but not in a day, throughout the week. So that's like, a package will be about 100 calories worth of sugar right there. Not exactly good overall for your body, because you shouldn't be taking that much sugar, but I'll use about 100 to 150 calories of the carbs for straight sugar. And it helps, because it helps with that sweet tooth, and it helps with energy level, like an hour before a workout or something like that. You kind of get a little boost. So this is step 4. We're gonna call this the final step of this phase, if you wanna call it that. But retaining muscle and losing fat is kind of the trope. It is the paradigm. It is what everybody is essentially trying to do. And this is just a method of how to do that. Other tests that are done by people, they actually use very similar things. They might use different macros, which is totally fine, depending on people's lifestyles and stuff like that. Again, I hope I didn't lose you there, and I hope you could find this information useful. And if you have any questions, you just hit me straight up on Messenger, text, call me on the True Coach, however you want to get a hold of me and ask me these questions. And if we need to do something a little more custom for you, then we'll get on it. We got to do this. We should try doing this together. Appreciate you guys' time. Please look out for other videos. And all of this is going to tie in a little better after we get through more videos. All right, stay fit and stay mentally prepared for all things. All right, thank you guys.